So here is the third tank in my breeding setup, my breeding for minimum wage project, I guess. And it is a 40-liter tank of Santa Maria Endlers. And there's a little beta here who doesn't seem to be bothering anybody too much, so I'm gonna leave him there. This is actually my friend's tank that she needed to get rid of, and I said I'd take it off her for a while and give it back if she had a space, but these guys are going to be living in there for the next few months. And what I was thinking of doing was, when I see any little fry skimming around, I might throw them in the big tank, because they might grow out there a little bit faster, and they also might have less kind of predators to deal with. But these Endlers are pretty nice. So yeah, the other day I had them in a different tank with a smaller kind of heater. I guess it was a 15-watt heater, and the top on it wasn't very good. The top of the tank wasn't very good, and I lost, I'd say, about half of them. And a lot of these guys were kind of floating upside down, and I was wondering what the hell was wrong. And then I realized that it was actually really quite cold, and that they just couldn't handle the lower temperatures. And as soon as I stuck them in this tank, which is actually quite warm, they kind of bounced back, and they seem to be doing a bit better in here. It's kind of a nice tank. I got an Eheim filter on there. Well, the light's kind of decent. It's just a small kind of breeder tank. The heater in there is a lot more powerful, I think. I was thinking that beta might be kind of an angry sort, but he's not. And I think I'm going to put my culls in here as well. There seems to be a lot of hiding spaces. There's one shrimp in here, and he looks pretty big and hardy. But sure, we'll see how things go. I have to do my wrap up for the month. Last month when I was away, I still got a couple of sales in. So in the shrimp tank also we have a couple of newbies. So my friend had a bunch of albino plecos, albino. So they're living with my shrimp at the moment. They're pretty young. I'd say they're like 5 or 6 months old, some of them. So they won't be breeding for at least another 3 or 4 months. But it's good just to kind of add in maybe another kind of combination that I can do stuff with. My original plan with this tank was to kind of have a breeding for profit tank, and online a lot of the Yankees, the American guys, have like 4 or 5 different species, like snails, shrimp, plecos, guppies, and then lots of plants and stuff, and they all put them in together. But when I tried that with the guppies, they just kind of, even though there was some cover, they really kind of tore my shrimp colony apart. Now I think if you introduce guppies or endlers or whatever, when they're fry and they kind of grow up with the shrimp and you feed them, they generally don't care that much. But if you introduce adults that have never seen them or grown up with them, they generally just kind of hunt them, and they're kind of big enough to do that. But apparently endlers, most of them don't have a mouth big enough to eat shrimp, although that Endler there just looks like a big old guppy. But maybe they have smaller mouths, slightly smaller mouths than guppies. So my plan for this month is to kind of sell off as many of the culls as I can. There's a few really nice high grade succurbs in here that I'm going to sell off as well. I'm also going to sell some plants, and I really want to buy in some rabbit snails again and get those guys breeding, because they're really cool and they're kind of uncommon, and people kind of People generally like them when you give them a little orange face guy. They're pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna start breeding those again, I think. And they're really easy to take care of. The one thing I will say is that Endlers or guppies, in my experience, have been much harder to breed. You know, they die a lot easier. You gotta feed them more. They need more stable water parameters. The shrimp I've just left and neglected, and even still the genetics seem to get better, and you know, if I give the tank any sort of attention, it just really thrives, it seems. Whereas these guys are much more sensitive. Anyway, updates coming soon. If you like what I do, subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.